What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Between the Cons. My name is Chris, and with me today, MasterMind-rebo.
And don't forget when hitchhiking to always bring a towel.
That's so weird. I've heard that so many times just now from us testing your audio. Because this is the first time that you're recording not by my side.
I know, and it just feels wrong.
MasterMind-rebo recently moved to Indiana.
Yes, he did.
Back to Indiana, I guess. So this is his
back to Indiana. It's where I'm from.
This is his first episode, not at the BTC studio, aka my desk in the loft of my apartment.
No, you don't need to tell them. Just let them believe that we have a studio. That's where we're at, folks. And if you get onto Patreon, we'll get an even better studio.
Like a real studio.
Yeah. So support us.
Support us. But yeah, we're here. We're having a good time. We Skype went down today.
Yeah.
So that's I guess your first pineapple
that could
point.
Happen.
Yeah,
that just feels like Google is down.
Yeah, it was super not cool because it threw a big wrench in us getting started. So we're starting like 45 minutes after we got on the phone, and like pretty much an hour after we had planned on starting. So that's real neat.
The wives are going to get upset with us, because we're just dilly-dallying on the internet.
Right. Just dilly-dallying. But yeah, so not the coolest, but we're here. We're going to bring you guys a pineapple episode in just a few minutes. We're going to hit the headlines for you. But before we do that, big shout outs to everybody that's hit us up on the internet. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is where you can find us. Make sure you do that. We're on the internet all the time. Interact with us, hang with us, do whatever you want with us. I regret saying that.
Well, within reason.
Yeah, I immediately regret making that statement.
Yeah. And you will later, because they probably will.
Yeah.
Yep. Have their way with you on the internet.
But we're going to get started. We're going to kick things off in pineapple. So you hang on to your seats and check out this nerdy news.
We're going to have a pineapple situation. What should I do? Pineapple. The word that cannot be spoken. Pineapple.
Just want to say pineapple. If
Pineapples are fun. My dad used to throw them at me.
Pineapple.
Seriously? Wow.
Hey everyone! In our pineapple series, we've got the Star Wars Solo movie has ended production, and it's aptly being named Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Man, this was going to be my last pineapple point. So we didn't actually use a show sheet today either because It's
just
weird.
off the hand. I technically I'm looking at a show sheet right now,
but you're not looking at the show sheet.
See, that's right. So really,
hold on. You used the show sheet for 2 weeks from now, not 2 weeks from now.
I see you now. Yeah.
So this is episode 196, I believe. I don't actually know because we've kind of fallen around our schedule lately. Yeah, it's 196. So this is episode 196. Tori wrote his notes in the episode 210 show sheet. So we're using two different show sheets. Let's see, that one, kind of. So really, this is the only one that we both have on our show sheet. So we'll just talk about this one together, and it could be a shared pineapple.
That. Well, I'm sure we're going to hit some of the same points where basically, Ron Howard taking to Twitter just like everyone else who's trying to get the news out, including, we'll say, someone political, our president.
Is it news?
Well, no, it's really not, because it's just finally saying what we kind of assumed it would basically be.
Right, because for me, this is the stupidest name for a movie. Like, I'm not calling it Solo. I'm not gonna do that.
No, they can't make you.
I'll
But,
call
you
it the
know,
Han Solo movie.
yeah. And it's like, you know, if you really think about it too, they already did this with Rogue One.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like we don't call it anything but Rogue One, but I think let's see, Rogue One, isn't it Rogue One a Star Wars story as well?
I think it's
Wait,
the other way.
is that
I think
wrong?
it's a Star Wars story, Rogue One, and this one is
Rogue
a
One,
Star
yeah.
Wars story, Solo.
Yeah, like don't get that
Like,
kind of lazy on
It's
us.
so.
Like,
Why was this a
is
secret? Like,
you've
why?
got Disney money.
Why the crap was this a secret for so long?
Actually, no, dude, no, it is Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I just looked
Oh,
in my
is it?
library. It's
Well-
the exact same thing.
But for this particular thing, it's so stupid. They kept the name of the Han Solo movie a secret
Until this point.
until this point, and they just named it Solo. Like, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
You didn't even name it like Scruffy Nerf Herder or something like that, which would have been freaking awesome. Or like the story of a Scruffy Nerf Herder, like something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just called it Solo. Like, that's a stupid name. I don't like it.
Ooh. And if you recall, going from the Xbox Kinect game with Star Wars, you could do the Just Dance, and you could do Riding Solo. So maybe they're gonna have like a song bit where he's dancing
Oh,
to that
God.
song, and it'll connect. You know?
Oh God, no.
You see what I did also with Kinect? Like it'll
Yes.
connect.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah, I'm prepping to be a dad. I've got to practice my jokes. So, but yeah, it's basically just a non name. It's not even a name. It's just
I don't like it. I think it's lazy.
yeah. Well, and you know, here's what it is. They're putting all that money into the Star Wars theme park. They didn't pay anyone to write a good name for this offshoot movie. So,
I just think it's dumb.
well, you know, regardless or not, this seems to be the title. And maybe, you know, as with many other issues, the fans will rally. They'll change the name because it's just on Twitter. It's not like you can't change it.
Right.
So, yeah. But you know what? It is what it is for now. Ron Howard says so. And pineapple.
Nintendo is wanting to make, or not make, but provide more risque and violent games for the Switch. What I say to that is about freaking time. So Nintendo, I think that's Nintendo's biggest fault is they have
It's always been the PG
condensed-
game.
well, they have condensed their market, their demographic to like 10 and under.
Yeah.
And it's always been like that, with the exception of the earlier consoles, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo,
Well, Super Nintendo.
even
you know,
not Mario 64, Nintendo 64.
Yeah, because with Super Nintendo, I still recall where you would, you know, versus the Sega Genesis. You know, Sega Genesis would have all this blood and gore, and the Super Nintendo wouldn't. You know,
Well, my thought is we had Castlevania on the Super Nintendo. We
I guess
had
that's true. Yeah.
we had games that were more violent. They might not have
there you
been
go.
as
yeah. The
as
graphics
gory.
might not have been, but
Right.
the content in of itself.
for the time.
Yeah.
Then the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo, even like look at GoldenEye on the 64.
Yeah, that's true.
We had darker, violent, more risque titles on those consoles, but since the Wii, since the Dreamcast, those titles have become fewer and fewer, and I think Nintendo's finally starting to realize that. So they're bringing some of these games to the Switch. Some of those games include Knights of the Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon. There's going to be a new Shinobi title. A game called Gal Metal, which is an all-girl band fighting aliens with the power of heavy metal, which sounds like a game that Nintendo would release on their console.
Yeah. What was that Aerosmith game that was like that, where it was like
oh my god,
you were fighting aliens? Remember on the arcades and
yes.
like Aerosmith was in the background, like fighting and stuff.
I'm looking it up. It was called 1994, or no, Revolution X.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
Oh,
it came out in 1994.
so wonderful.
And it also came out on the PlayStation.
Well, see, there you go.
And man, what? Forgot that game existed. But
Yeah.
anyways, they're coming out with Doom on the Nintendo Switch and
Okay.
Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus.
What?
So it's really neat to see that. I've always been a fan of Nintendo. I really like the Nintendo titles. Like the Mario titles, the Zelda titles. I love those games, but there's not been any more appeal for me to get one of their systems after I turned like 14.
Yeah.
Because at that point I was playing first person shooters. I was playing like racing games that didn't involve go-karts. I was playing like sports games. Like
that have more violence, yeah.
well, anything. Like
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch doesn't have sports games, with the exception of NBA 2K17, 18, whichever one is coming out soon. That has, I'm guessing 18 because that makes sense. That is going to have like
It's funny how that chronological series goes.
right, but you have to like download content offline. It's not, you don't get the full game when you buy it. So I think it's really good for Nintendo. They're going to start seeing, I think, a lot more sales.
Because we were the generation that carried those systems. Like we're now older. Like we were the ones that played Super Nintendo and even Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and N64. Like we grew up with these generations of gaming consoles, and now
Right.
Nintendo's kind of catching on that we're the ones with money.
Right,
And we
exactly.
don't want to buy games for our kids because we're selfish.
And we're
we
having
want to play for
kids.
ourselves.
So
Yes.
we don't want to buy two systems. We want to buy one system that our kids can play, that we can also play.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But I think that's really cool. I think it's a really great step for Nintendo to kind of get back to their roots a little bit and offer a variety of games instead of just being essentially the laughingstock of the gaming industry for being the kids console.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna see a lot of good things come of this, and I'm really excited to see myself what happens, because I wouldn't hate owning a Switch eventually one day, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pineapple.
I need to get back into the world of gaming consoles. My gaming console is my phone. So, yeah.
As
maybe
most people.
Yeah.
But Pineapple.
All right. Well, Spider-Man 2 will be the first film after Infinity Wars, but again, another announcement over Twitter, that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be the main start to the new overarching theme for the MCU. And it doesn't go into specifics because obviously we're still early and we're putting all our energy into Infinity Wars. But, going back, what is it, 22 years now for Iron Man? Something ridiculous.
2008. So just shy of 10 years.
Yeah, just shy of 10. I can't do math.
It's okay. It's okay.
but,
That's not what you're here for.
That's right. I'm here for news. And news doesn't include correct numbers. So
Sort of.
Yeah. But that's going to be huge because it's going to be the end of one MCU theme that started with Iron Man and starting a new one. And it's just like, that's big stuff that they've
I love it. And I think with this particular point, it's directed towards the second Infinity War movie, which is untitled right now. But I think that that's something that we've kind of always expected. Is we've always expected, especially those of us that are fans of the Marvel comics.
Yeah.
We know how a story arc works. We know that when in a comic book, if we pick up a comic, we're going to have anywhere from 3 to maybe 10 issues following the same storyline before it changes. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's where we are here. The reason you said 22, just thought of it. I think it's been 22 movies in 8 years.
That's what.
9 years.
Thank you. That's exactly it. It has been 22 movies.
By the end of the second Infinity War movie, it will be 22 movies, I think.
Yeah.
But that's something that we've always expected. We've always known Tony Stark is not, Robert Downey Jr. is not always going to be Tony Stark, who is going to be Iron Man.
But it's the same person.
Right. We know that the Captain America has that helm has to move.
Yeah.
We know that. We know that these characters are not going to be around forever. Why do we know that? Because we read the comics, and that's how it's been in the comics since the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Rogers was Captain America. Bucky
And not
Barnes
only
was
that,
Captain
Josh,
America.
the
Sam
actors
Wilson.
themselves are getting old.
Right.
Like, it's just the natural progression of time that happens outside of the comic books. Comic books, you stay the same age, but hey, guess what? We're in the real world,
Right.
and we need to find a new batch of actors, hence a new arc.
Right.
That's why we're hiring, teenagers for Spider-Man so that we can get a good old couple of years out of them, hopefully.
Right. Robert Downey Jr. was 44 when he started playing, or 40,
Iron Man.
42 when he was shooting Iron Man. He is 52 now.
Yeah, aged well. So probably, I'm imagining in between their shoots, they're now in like the Disney like cryo chambers, just so that they stay youthful and young in between shoots and other things. Kind of like Walt Disney himself, theory, but
theory. But yeah, I mean it's got to happen. It does.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, pineapple.
All right. So Netflix, for those of you that haven't been paying attention, if you have a Netflix subscription and you're not paying the $7.99 for the cheapest one, you might want to go ahead and adjust your budget because the price is increasing. The price for Netflix is going up for the mid-range and premium memberships. For the basic membership, the single screen, it's staying $7.99, so no worries there. If you do have one of the larger memberships, the $9.99 membership is going to be $10.99 now, and the 4-screen premium membership with the Ultra HD is going to be $13.99 instead of $11.99. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, that sucks. Netflix is getting greedy. Not necessarily true.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Netflix has announced that they are spending $7 to $8 billion on programming for next year, 2018.
Yeah. I was going to say, this kind of meshes. We're kind of tag team.
Right.
And it's just saying, not only that, like that amount of money is going to launch 80 original films.
80 original films, 30
like
new
that's according
animes.
to the chief content officer.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's happening.
They're also launching 30 new animes.
Yeah. Well, see, I've got no problem with that.
Yeah. And the movies, the thing about the movies, $7 to $8 billion is a huge budget. That being said, do the math on it.
Well, yeah.
Martin Scorsese's movie, The Irishman, with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and Harvey Keitel, that's a $100 million budget for that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Martin Scorsese. And then the Coen brothers are doing a 6-part anthology film.
Which is just
there's big names. There are big names doing stuff on Netflix. They're also I said this already, but they're also planning to do 30 animes. 30 seasons of an anime show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 30 anime films. They haven't announced either one. Which way it's going to go, but that's still a ton. That's 100 right there. That's 110 new things coming to Netflix, and hopefully, none of them star Adam Sandler.
Oh my gosh, that would be so wonderful. Or his friends. Let's say Adam Sandler and company. Because, then we get
James.
random Paul Blart, whatever, crap, assassin, la-da-da. Like, let's just be done with that.
Right.
And I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be amazing.
You honestly, man, like, so as these things grow, you also got to pay the actors more.
Right.
Like, this is
yes, you
not
do.
some little thing. And as well, as we've talked about in the past, man, like, they got to pay more for one of these contracts. Like Disney, obviously having, an end time on their contracts because they're going to stream stuff.
Right.
So it's just like, you got to get the money while the money's good.
Well, and the thing is, they have a few billion subscribers.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not bump up $1?
Well, and here's the thing too. So it makes complete sense that, So I'll be honest, I don't have a Netflix account. I use a family account. And it's just saying they have not been making money off of me since, for the past 5 years, since they've done streaming, So it's just like they got to make more money because people are doing that same thing where you just share a $11.99 thing and it's split between 4 people.
But even still, they have so many subscribers that it's justified. Yeah. Like they can bump it $1 and pay for like huge movies.
Oh yeah.
Like just imagine $100 million for Scorsese's The Irishman.
Yeah.
So you're paying 100 million subscribers getting bumped up by $1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pays for that. That doesn't even include the other $9.99.
No, and it doesn't. And it's just saying like, we've been crying out for good content. They've listened, and this is how you get it. And like,
exactly.
People don't care. Like, we could go back to the other big thing. Starbucks in 2005, a caramel macchiato was $2.85 when I worked there. Now it's over $5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's just like these things just happen. This is life. As you become more of an adult, you just say, hey, okay, well, I really like this service and I'm willing to pay $2 more.
Yeah, $2 more for the premium subscription. That gets you playback.
Yeah, your normal subscription still is going to be the same.
Simultaneous playback on 4 screens.
Yeah.
And
like your kids are watching one show downstairs.
Exactly.
You're watching your movie upstairs. Everyone's happy, and little Timmy is playing, baby Einstein in his cradle.
In HD. It's in HD. Yeah. It's in Ultra HD, whatever exactly that means. It's worth it. It's a couple bucks. I mean, if you're paying for the mid-range membership, which is what my wife and I do, I think she handles all that, so I don't really know what we pay for anything. But I think we do the $9.99. That's $1 a month. That's $12. $12 more dollars a year.
It says too, nobody's raising a stink. Nobody cares.
No.
Because they're just like, cool.
And that's the thing. I think it was really smart by Netflix to say, hey, we're going to bump up the price, but this year we're getting you 80 new original movies. And that's just the movies, people. Like, it's not like all of the original series that we love are going to stop.
Care if prices go, what prices are, as long as you're providing the equivalent value.
Yeah.
And Netflix is doing that way better than just about any industry out there.
Yeah. And this is just the movies.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting 80 new movies, 30 new animes. How many original TV shows does Netflix have right now that you love? They just came out with Mindhunter, Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black, Narcos, The Ozark. Isn't that one?
Last Kingdom is one.
They have a ton. That's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a ton, and it's not like they're gonna put all these TV shows on hold for a year.
No, they're gonna keep going.
They're gonna keep making these TV shows. On top of making these TV shows, we're gonna get 80 movies. We're gonna get 30 animes, and we're only having to pay $1 extra a month.
That's just the original stuff, let alone the blockbuster hits that they keep
with the exception of Disney properties.
With the exception of Disney properties. That's right. Yeah. And you know
assholes.
What? They're still going to be fine, So
I don't like cursing on this show. It's a family-friendly program, but
I
will curse at Disney.
I was going to let it just slide. Yeah. But yes. But I will still pay you, Disney.
But
and especially if you get on Patreon and support our show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Support us, Disney. And then you've got your pineapple point for Netflix that we'll just throw into this one. It's going to be a weird pineapple episode.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We're still talking about, are we talking about the last one with binge racing?
No, the Netflix one. They announced at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. So Netflix at the end of the third quarter has announced that it has 5.3 million subscribers, which is up 49% from this time last year. And it plans, again, just like we talked, 80 new films, but it's just saying like they're going to range anywhere from the $1 Million Sundance hit all the way up to something on a much larger scale. Like legit movies, like you said, just all the movies we've listed, like that's what they're doing. And that's a huge jump for any company to go up 49% from third quarter last year. Like, gosh,
Yeah.
You know, if I
And it's
get
because
that,
they
then
started
I'm
doing
just
so much
happy
good
to.
original content.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So, but it's like when you have your chief content officer coming out and saying that kind of stuff, he's like, you mean business. Like you're not just having some random news report leak. You're having some of your main guys saying like, we're doing good things. We're doing great things with your money, and we're going to continue to do great things with your money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you shall be appeased and continue to stay on your couch or chair or plane. I don't know.
Or wherever you are. And I mean,
Exactly.
that's one thing. You said plane. That's another tangent I'm gonna take us down. That's another thing that they've done this year that is excellent. They instituted a offline mode. So with certain titles, certain TV shows, movies, what have you, you can download them offline on your device, on your mobile device, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android phone, whatever, and you can play them back while you're on a plane. That's a whole new thing that they are getting more people for.
And you know, because really what it is, you're allowing families to justify subscriptions. And just like many things we've talked about, families being the big drivers now, just because we're all having them and we're a very large, you know, generation of money spenders. And it's just something where if you can download, I don't know, Spider-Man, the animated series, mostly because that's what my little girl will be watching, like that's fantastic. Or whatever series out there for kids. I clearly haven't looked into it just yet. But yeah, you can download them all so that your kid is not screaming on a plane or in a car or what have you.
Or you're fully grown businessman who travels a lot for work, Chris.
See, there you go.
I use it all the time. Because I like watching Netflix original series that my wife isn't interested in. But there are only certain amounts of time that I have where I'm home without my wife. So it's not like I don't want to kick her into another room while I watch a TV show that she doesn't like. So like whenever I travel, I'll download 4 or 5 episodes onto my iPad before I get on the plane. I'll crush it while I'm on the plane. And then I'll do the same thing on the flight back.
And this may change a little bit in the future as more and more phone companies are providing unlimited data for cheaper. Right. They're not there yet. But like you said, for things like planes, cars, and you know, just limited access for children, it's wonderful.
Oh my gosh, I'm not even thinking about road trips. Road trips would be perfect.
Yeah.
But this is great. Just a lot of cool things that Netflix is doing. I don't even know whose turn it is anymore, but Pineapple.
It's yours, technically, so yeah, Pineapple.
It's mine again?
I think so, man.
Well, we kind of piggybacked yours into mine. So,
okay, so why don't I go then?
You do whatever.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of awesome things, the Gambit, well, this is hopefully awesome. I have high hopes.
This thing that we're still talking about somehow.
Yeah, the Gambit origin story still has plans for production. And really, here's the trick. Since the animated series, Gambit has just been one of my favorites. So I just want it to happen, and I want it to happen
I want to make a quick correction for you based on what you just said.
Thank you, yeah.
Due to the X-Men animated series, Gambit has been your favorite. Since the animated series, Gambit has been garbage water.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you for the clarification because that is important. Very, very important. I cannot stress further. Due to the animated series of the X-Men, I'm really hoping that this movie that has gone through 2 directors already is going to keep pushing because of the success of the Logan movie. You know, it's given them the boost that they needed to slate it for February 2019. And of course, you know, the lovable Channing Tatum is still slated to play the famous Cajun in the upcoming film.
Better than Taylor Kitsch.
Oh my gosh, that just hurt. It was awful. But you know, hey, if we really wanted to go in all the details of why that movie sucked, we would be here a lot longer than just one.
We actually have, and it was with, I think,
Which
Dane.
one was it?
X-Men Origins.
Yeah. I was saying like I couldn't remember.
Silver lining of bad superhero movies, I think, is what the episode was called.
Yeah, the adamantium lining might be a better fit for that one, but what are you gonna do? See what I did there?
I did see it. Yes.
Yeah. So, but on that horrible note, pineapple.
I don't even know what I still have yet left to talk about. Oh, here we go. So
I was gonna say, if you don't have one, I've got another.
Oh, I do. We've kind of bounced around the notes because we're piggybacking.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I love gaming. I love console gaming.
Yeah.
I love certain titles more than other titles. Gears of War and Call of Duty I have been on board since the first release in both franchises.
How many figurines of War do you have?
I have two. I have two.
Yeah.
I have Colonel Hoffman and one of the Locusts.
Yeah.
But I love those two franchises. For Call of Duty, they always do way over the top collector's editions. I have a pair of night vision goggles that I got from the release of Modern Warfare 2. That's like the biggest collector's edition that I've gotten.
Yeah.
But like Gears of War and Call of Duty both have done remote controlled cars. Like it's kind of a big thing now that when you do like a big time collector's edition, there's something crazy that just is kind of thrown in. It's like $200, whatever. Well, recently over the last few years, we've seen some weird stuff in collector's editions. There was a Call of Duty game that had a mini fridge as a part of it. There was a version of Dying Light, which is a post-apocalyptic zombie parkour game. It's super fun. But there was a $386,000 collector's edition that came with an actual bunker. That title came out, I don't know, 3 years ago or so. Now, currently, Gran Turismo is coming out for PS4.
Yeah.
A new Gran Turismo is coming out. The collector's edition has a price tag of $46.6 thousand.
A brand new car.
And it comes with a new car. It does. It comes with a 2018 Mazda MX-8 sports car plastered in PlayStation and Gran Turismo logos. But that being said, here's the cool part. So obviously the game includes, as this part, it's like a bundle, like a game bundle. It's not necessarily a collector's edition of the game. It's a gaming bundle. So it actually has the system in it. It comes with a PS4 Pro, which is the top tier PS4 right now. It also comes with a PSVR headset and Move controllers. So it has the virtual reality stuff with it. It comes with a Thrustmaster T GT steering wheel, which is like top of the line gaming steering wheel.
Got it. For a second, I thought you were talking about the car. I was like,
no, this is just the gaming stuff.
Yeah. I love that.
It comes with an Apija AP1 racing chair and a Bravia 4K HDR TV.
Dude.
And I'm not done.
New car.
And it comes with 12 months of PS Plus, which is the premium membership.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it comes with the new Gran Turismo game. But that's crazy. Who spends almost $47,000 on a sports car video game combo?
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, who has 40? Because this is not a payment.
My wife's not budget.
Yeah, this is not like a car payment kind of purchase. This is you pay 46.6 up front and you get this stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. Crazy.
I just can't imagine Best Buy really stocking that collector's edition too.
I hope they do. I hope there's one in each state.
Just taken over by the cars.
Yeah, I hope there's one in each state that has like the car, like they pull the car in like it's a car dealership and park it in the middle of the store. That would be awesome. And I can guarantee you it would be the one in Park Meadows.
Oh, goodness.
And I would go to it, and I would look at it, and I would take pictures, and I'd put it on our Instagram.
I'm good with this.
And
Yeah.
that is as much of that as I would ever possibly need. But if you have $46.6 thousand and you want to buy a video game and a gaming system, why not just get a car too? So pick up Gran Turismo, the new Gran Turismo for PS4. Get the brand new car, the Bob Barker bundle.
Chris, could we start a Kickstarter for Between the Cons that
to
people
buy one?
Can support us, and we could have this car and go on tour with the show?
Man, that would be a lot of fun.
Just a thought.
But we would need more than $46,000 because we would also have to have enough money for me to not work. So maybe we buy the car, we sell it at a profit, and then we go on the road in my 2010 Hyundai Elantra.
Perfect, man.
Boom.
Perfect.
There it is. There's the plan. But
Boom goes the dynamite.
Exactly. Pineapple.
All right. So for my last one, we as a generation have created a term that is called a binge race. And as Netflix, basically, we should have just done a Topic Thunder on Netflix. The binge race is, even with the little pronunciation, is to speed through an entire season within 24 hours of its release and to be the first to finish. So this is an actual thing. There are, top 10 shows that Netflix has just released that has basically people have been racing to
That's
watch
insane
the
to
quickest. Me. Yeah. 8.4 million binge racers worldwide are speeding through an entire season just for the bragging rights. Now, if it sounds like it's confusing numbers from what we said earlier about Netflix, I've thought about and processed. This is where that multi-subscriber on one account comes in. So you've got all these people that are watching these
8.4 million viewers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
8.4 million viewers. And so binge racing has grown more than 20 times in the last 4 years.
That's insane.
So, yeah, starting in back 2013 is, kind of when they really started kicking off with this. There was about 500,000 people who binge raced Orange is the New Black, and now with the Defenders, we're up in the 8 millions of just having it happen quickly. So, yeah, the top
insane,
10
man.
binge race shows, the Gilmore Girls new season was up there, Fuller House, Marvel's The Defenders, The Seven Deadly Sins, and The Ranch, to name a few. But it's just saying, it's at a point where we have the top 5 countries for binge racing. And oddly enough, we didn't win this one, and it's Canada. Canada is the number 1 country for binge racing. So blame Canada when it comes to them taking the gold, because we come in second, Denmark's third, Finland is 4th, and Norway is 5. So basically, North America and Scandinavia as a whole are watching a ton of Netflix in a single day's time. So, yeah, we've created a term in our generation of binge racing. That's all I got on that one.
I hope that doesn't catch on. Honestly.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, they really, as I'm looking at it now, the pronunciation is BINJ with an apostrophe R, and then the A with an accent mark over it, S. And it's a verb, of course, So, binge race. Binge race.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, there's my pineapple as it is. So, pineapple.
Last thing we're talking about on the show today, Kevin Smith, with all of his opinions.
Yes.
He has given his opinion on the recent news that we talked about last week on DC deciding to not interconnect their universe and basically dissect their universe, disassemble their universe. If you want to make a anti-Marvel joke,
it was good, man. It was good.
But he had some good points. So we talked about it last week. I'm very much on the page of, obviously it's not working for DC, so they need to do something else. And that's the way I approach it. But that's also because I am born and bred Marvel.
Me too.
So I have a very strong bias in that conversation. For those of you that don't know, Kevin Smith has a very strong bias in the other direction. He has written for Batman. He, in his Jay and Silent Bob characters, he has created a Blunt Man and Chronic, which is kind of a parody of Batman and Robin. So he's obviously a DC fan, and he's very outspoken as a DC fan, but he loves all things comics. He has also worked on some of the CW TV shows as a writer, as a director, so it's really cool to see that. But he's got some really good points here. So just to run through it, he says, listen, I'm a 47-year-old man. I grew up in an era where there were no comic book movies. Every once in a while you'd get one, and it was like water in a desert. And then he goes on to talk about how the movies then weren't really connected. In the movie that shall not be named, George Clooney mentioned This Is Why Superman Works Alone, and how exciting it was for him to mention that. And it's like, oh my gosh, he knows Superman. Like, kind of crazy, because they weren't connected at that point.
Exactly, yeah.
And then the last thing that he says is really great to me, and it's a stance that from the DC perspective, I always have looked at it as kind of hoity-toity, but I think this is a good way of looking at it. He says, think about some people get kind of crappy. They're like, come on, man, these people don't know anything about comic books. Comic books and characters have been handed to so many creators over the years. You never know what you're going to get in the hands of any particular person. I still get crap for making Batman pee his pants in a Batman book once, which is, kind of reducing it to something it wasn't. But still, regardless, you got to respect the fact that a creator can come on, maybe take that character to a place you've never seen that character be taken. And I got to imagine if Martin Scorsese jumps into a Batman movie, we're going to see some good stuff. Not bad stuff, the good stuff we all dream about. Goodfellas in a DC Universe movie, I'm there, take all my money. And that's a really good point. And he did make Batman pee his pants one time. You should check it out. But it's a really good point, because the way I see it is Warner Brothers has always been, we're going to make a director choice, and we're going to let the director do what they want, as long as it ties in to the universe. Obviously, that's becoming more and more difficult for them to accomplish.
Yeah.
So they're moving it out of that interconnectivity. They're just going to say, hey, we're going to give a Batman movie to Tim Burton, and he's going to do amazing things with it. We're going to give a Joker movie to Martin Scorsese, and he's going to create a crazy gangster movie, like the Godfather kind of gangster, Goodfellas kind of gangster, not like Get Rich or Die Trying kind of gangster.
No, totally.
I think it's going to be really interesting. I think that's a really interesting take. I think that taking that perspective into consideration, it kind of morphs the way that I look at it a little bit. Because I've always seen it as like, oh, we're all about the creator and they're going to be... And in my brain, I think comic book characters, I want a comic book story arc. Marvel is doing that. That's fulfilling my desires.
Yeah.
But then I look back and I see like Tim Burton's Batman. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That movie was excellent.
Yeah.
Batman Returns, also excellent.
Yep.
But it's like, those were movies that were done in the style of that creator, Joel Schumacher. Go die. Don't go die. Just don't ever make a Batman movie again.
Yeah, just stay away.
But it's that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, Joel Schumacher did a terrible job. Tim Burton did an excellent job. Christopher Nolan did 2/3 of an excellent job. In my opinion.
No, it's a valid opinion. But
we also have people like Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man.
Yeah.
Jump-started the Marvel Cinematic Universe, doing great things. Yeah. But in DC, or in Marvel, what we've learned, especially with Joss Whedon being like the freaking poster boy for it, is Marvel doesn't want you to do what you want to do. They want you to put your... your vibes onto the product that they have laid out for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Some directors like that kind of thing. Joss Whedon is not one of those directors.
It's also why they go through directors.
Right.
Because, like they can't get behind the program.
Yeah. But Joss Whedon, he did Avengers. He did Avengers Age of Ultron. He said, screw you guys, I'm out. And he went to DC. It wasn't that middle finger
Dramatic,
in the air, but he did. He finished out Justice League. He's going to be working on the Batgirl standalone film. And maybe, I don't know how that's going to pan out after the things that have come to light recently, but he might be doing the Batgirl, origin story. So I think it's a really interesting concept. I'm a lot more interested in what kind of content DC is going to be producing.
Yeah.
Now that I've read this particular take from someone who I respect.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris too. It's pretty much the same thing that you told me, but
it came from Kevin Smith.
Right.
That's legitimate.
But you're not Kevin Smith.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that's a really neat thing. I'm interested now to see what that turns into.
I love it.
Pineapple. And I think that's it.
Yeah,
Maybe?
we're gonna go with our little asymmetrical
weird
flow. And,
weird pineapple today. You had 10 pineapple points, but you
had great information, which is really what counts more.
Yeah, exactly. You got the news, and it was entertaining at least.
If you are feeling frustrated, if you're a little OCD in our format, let us know in the comments, and we'll make sure it never happens again, and we'll call Skype
on
and
Facebook.
Be like, hey, our people are upset, and that can't ever happen again.
Yeah.
So fix your stuff.
Find us on Facebook. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Instagram. On YouTube. On iHeartRadio. On Google Play. You can find us a lot of places, and most of those places have places where you can write things that we will read. So do those things. Go to our website, betweenthecons.com. On our website, you can link out to all of those places. You can also write a comment or an email. You can contact us. There it is. On our website. You can also stream our episodes. Link out to all of our social media sites, like I said. If you like our theme music, check out Afixa. He's on Bandcamp, betweenthecons.com/Bandcamp. And finally, make sure you tune in on Monday, because we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about The Gifted. And whether or not you watch the show, it's going to be a fun episode. So
I love it, man.
Tune in. Do it. Be there. Subscribe.
Do it. Just watch it.
Betweenthecons.com/subscribe. This is an audio podcast. There is nothing to watch. You don't have to watch it. Oh, you're talking about The Gifted. I get it.
Yeah, no, The Gifted is what I was talking about.
Please don't watch this episode, because that means you're in my house, and that's creepy.
And that's scary.
Yes. But you guys have a great night, day, whatever time of things it is. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Peace. That part is I don't get to see your face.